All right, y'all check it out. We got ourselves a package right here. And I've been waiting all day for this because this is what today's Wild Game Wednesday video is all about. So let me go ahead and open this up and show y'all what we got inside. Boom, there it is, guys. And y'all may be wondering what this chunk of metal is right here. And let me tell you, this is a Korean barbecue stovetop pan. So if that doesn't already tell you what we're doing today, let me explain it. We're gonna be making Korean barbecue with some deer meat. So we're gonna be making specifically venison bulgogi. Now bulgogi is one of my favorite things to eat whenever we go out to eat Korean barbecue. It's probably a lot of y'all's favorites too. Super sweet, super savory, just all around delicious. Nice little thin strips of meat, marinated for 24 hours or whatever, and then cooked up super quick at a high heat. I mean, you can't be better than that. Let me show you the cool thing about this. All you gotta do is take it, throw it onto a little burner right here. As you can see, this burner is dirty, it's disgusting. It's been through it all. This is the one we actually take to the beach whenever we go and stay overnight and do our fishing trips. But throw it on there and then we're ready to cook. So I'm gonna show you all the deer meat, the cut of meat that we're using. I'm gonna show you exactly how I'm slicing it, show you the marinade that we're using for it, and then we're just gonna start cooking and hopefully have a good time, and I think it's gonna turn out delicious. So y'all stick with it, stay tuned. Let me grab the knife, grab the meat, and we'll get right into the video. So here's our cut of meat that we're gonna be using today. Now, I know a lot of people just like to take their deer legs, the hindquarters, and just grind them up. That's what most people are gonna do. I personally like to take my hindquarters and get all the different cuts out of them. You have the top round, bottom round, the rump, all that type of stuff. And this right here is the sirloin tip. So you could cut this into steaks. You could grind it if you wanted to. But what I like to do with it is save it for times like this. Now, it is great in the crock pot for making stew. As you can see, it has some silver skin in there, some tendons and stuff like that. But it's actually a decently tender piece of meat if you cut it right and you cook it right. So today what we're gonna be doing is we're just gonna be taking it and slicing it super, super thin, because bulgogi is usually super thin cuts of meat. So to do that, you're gonna need a super sharp knife, and what I also recommend is have your meat semi-frozen. If it's completely thawed out, you're not gonna be able to cut as thin as you would if it's a little bit frozen. So we have our meat here. It's been thawing out all day, but like I said, it still is a little icy in the middle, and that's perfect. If you have a meat slicer, feel free to use that. All we have here is just a nice sharp kitchen knife. So I'm gonna cut off the end here so we can get our cuts going. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it and just slice as thin as we can, like this, all the way down through. And we're just looking for little strips like that, or whatever they look like when they come off. We'll just cut them nice and thin. Cutting it thin like this will keep it tender, and it'll let that marinade penetrate all the way around the meat. I'm gonna continue to cut this into little slices, and then we'll see you when we're done for the next step, which is marinating the meat. So this is our marinade that we're using right here. Now, I just bought this at the store. You absolutely could make your marinade yourself, but it just seemed like a lot of steps, guys. And to be honest, I just really didn't feel like doing it. So I just went ahead and picked this up at H-E-B. And this is actually, I don't really know how to pronounce this 100%, but it's kalbi or kalbi, however you say it, marinade. So this is pretty much the same thing as bulgogi. From my research, from what I've been reading today, kalbi and bulgogi marinades or sauces are pretty much identical except for the proportions. So one might have more soy sauce, one might have more sesame oil, more rice vinegar, that type of stuff. But the actual ingredients are pretty much the same. Generally, this one would be used for thicker pieces of meat, like maybe cross-cut ribs or something like that. And then bulgogi, like I said, is for the little strips. But this is all they had, so this is what we're using. We're gonna throw the meat in the bowl, dump some of this on top of it, and then we're just gonna let it marinate for anywhere from 2 to 24 hours. If you want to let it sit all overnight, do it. The longer you let it sit, the better it's going to be. But if you don't have any time, you try to make dinner tonight, just like we are, and you only have maybe an hour or two, I'm sure it's going to be just fine. So we're going to go ahead and get to that. We're going to let that sit in the fridge for a while, and then we'll see y'all back here in a couple hours to cook up this delicious bulgogi. right here that has been marinating for a few hours. Should be nice and seasoned up well. We got the burner right here. We have the nice little Korean barbecue stovetop going. We're outside because we did try it out inside. You can take a look. Come here and get close on this. You can see the little burn marks on it. We tried it out inside a minute ago. I didn't record it. And yeah, it smoked like crazy. You can probably see the smoke coming up right now. So we decided to move outside, although it is drizzling a little bit. So we're gonna have to get this show on the road. A couple cups of rice, a little bit of sesame oil and salt and pepper right there for the side. We got our tongs, and of course, we got our chopsticks. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this heat down just a little bit. Probably about just like that. And all we're gonna do is start laying this meat on. Now I will say, as y'all just saw a second ago, whenever you looked at the burnt little grill grate right there, that's probably why whenever you go to a Korean barbecue place, they're constantly changing it out every 10 minutes because they burn super easy. But we're gonna take these thin pieces of meat. Y'all check this out. Super thin, almost see-through piece of meat, and straight on. We don't want to crowd it, but it's a long process, guys. Sit around, have a drink, eat as it gets ready. You just keep going until you're full. We got tons of meat, plenty of time. We're just gonna load this thing up and start eating it. So the meat's cut super thin, as I've said before. It only takes maybe about 1.5 to 2.5 minutes to cook it completely through, and then we'll be ready to feast. So let's let it cook up, and then we'll try it out and tell you how good it is. Okay, it's about 2 minutes later now. Our meat looks great. Y'all check that out. Nice and crispy on the outside. It's getting there. We're gonna go ahead and take it off. We're gonna throw it in our bowl of sticky rice. A couple pieces right here. Oh, and that looks like a good start to me. Y'all check that out. Maybe top it off with a touch of green onion for color, as always. And then right here, we have a little bit of sesame oil and salt and pepper, a little bit of vinegar and stuff. And you can just put this on top. You definitely don't have to, but I like it. A little bit on top like that. That's gonna help keep it nice and moist and get that flavor going. Let's take a bite for you guys. All right, get a little bit of that sticky rice, all that meat. That smoke's coming straight in my eyes. This is a big piece of meat, but hey, we're gonna go for it because we're hungry and that looks delicious. That is once again another winner for Wild Game Wednesday. Y'all check it out, guys. I really have been enjoying making these Wild Game Wednesday videos lately. Just because they're so much fun. You can do a ton of different stuff with them. It's just really great finding different creative things to make with your deer meat. I've said this in pretty much every video that we made, but most people just take their deer meat, they grind it, or they'll just take their deer meat and make hamburgers with it or sausage or whatever. And it's really fun doing all these different creative meals with it. So we're gonna go ahead and throw a little bit more meat on here, make a nice looking bowl, take a picture so we can get a thumbnail for this video, and then we're gonna go ahead and finish it off. But I'll see you in a minute to close this out. So just like the last time, all we're doing is just pulling the meat off, throwing it over rice, and that's it, guys. We're just gonna repeat this until all the meat's gone or until we get full, and that's the fun part in it. Just keep going until you're done. Take it, throw a little green onion on it for some flavor, for some color, but that's really it. Maybe a little bit of that oil. Super good stuff right here. And that is our Korean barbecue venison bulgogi, deer meat bulgogi. Fun, interesting, definitely something to try out. I highly recommend it. You don't have to have one of these grates. They're about 15 bucks off Amazon, but I think they're definitely gonna be 1 or 2 time use as it's getting pretty dirty and I think it's gonna be hard to clean, but you can do this in a pan if you wanted. Maybe do it on a little miniature grill or something like that. But whichever way you decide to do it, I definitely recommend trying out this recipe. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're not already. That's it for the video right now. All I got for y'all. I do have a video coming out on Saturday, so make sure to tune in to check that out. But until then, we're gonna finish off this food. Once again, thanks for watching and peace.